Hey family, I'm SNwadiei. I'm Habasa. How y'all doing this afternoon? It's nice to see that people are going to come. I don't see y'all out there yet, but I know y'all said y'all was coming. And according to my countdown, it's looking like it's got another 45 seconds to go. This is not synchronized for some reason, y'all. So I will do this one more time. Yeah, it's supposed to be going. So I apologize. Let me do this one more time, y'all. Oh no, it's starting. I'm just waiting for you guys to come in and tell me hello. Because we're supposed to be talking about gender bias today. Gender bias in the motherland. So I need somebody to talk to out there. Waiting on you guys. Yeah, I'm waiting on you guys right now to come on. So as soon as somebody comes in, we'll start this show. Like they say, we'll get this party started right now. So just waiting for you guys to come on in. And we shall say greetings to everybody. Yes, we will. Oh, hello. Somebody's out there. Let me see. Okay. Hey, Perry, how you doing? It's good seeing you out there. I thought I was here by myself for a little while. Hey, Perry, you know I'm new to the live, so I definitely was waiting for somebody to say, I'm here, I'm here. Where you seeing me at from? Let me know where you seeing me from. What what country are you seeing me from? And if you're in the United States, what state? Because we're supposed to be talking about gender bias. And I know you weren't even the one who brought up the subject. So who else is gonna be coming to greet us? But let me know where you seeing me from. And I'm happy to see you there today. I see somebody else walked in the room. So no, I'm from okay. Thank you. You from Georgia. Okay, that's good. That's good. Thank you. I used to live in Atlanta. Well, Stone Mountain anyway. I lived in Stone Mountain for about a year. I wanted to see how it felt to live in Chocolate City for a year. So it was interesting. I met a lot of nice people. So I have great memories about being in the South. So thank you for that. All right. Who else is out there watching? Come and say hello. Who else is out there? I see Perry. Who else is out there in the audience? We're supposed to be talking about gender bias today. Oh, hey, Rob. Shalom. Shalom. Rob, nice to see you. Nice to see you. I'm happy you came. Thank you for coming. Who else is out there? And tell me where you're coming from. Tell me where you seeing me from. Let me know. I'll be sending out this link too. So anybody want to come in, because we'll be talking about gender bias and the Gambia, the motherland, and even here, gender biases, caste systems. And that's the link out there if anybody wants to come on into the studio, you're welcome to it. I was just waiting for a few more people to come in. Oh, Oklahoma. Okay. I've been in Oklahoma too. Tulsa, Oklahoma. I probably was in Tulsa about maybe 4 years or longer. Yeah. I have lots of experiences in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Lots of them. I'm telling you, I studied lots of different spiritual systems there. So, yeah, I loved Tulsa when I was there. Okay. About 40 minutes from Tulsa. Okay. Okay. That's good. I love all of Oklahoma. It's just a pretty place. So, yeah. Thank you for that. All right. Anybody else out there wants to chime in? Y'all see I put out the StreamYard. Oh, okay. 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 Thank you. Thank you for that, for letting me know. But I know it was one more person at least was supposed to be chiming in because she was supposed to be coming in and to the studio to say hello. She just texted me as a comment, but she's not coming on to the show yet. So I don't know where is she. But anyway, y'all, I have to do my little customary banners that I have to learn how to use. We will start talking about the subject matter in a minute if we have to without any other people coming in. But whoever's out there, let me know. I would definitely acknowledge you, because I'm not trying to ignore anybody. And I see I have my patron here, and I have guests. Anybody else that wants to be a patron, come on in. Because y'all know when I get to the Gambia, that's who's going to be hearted with me at the house. Otherwise, I'll see you at Motu or wherever it is, It's going to be fun. Believe you me, I'm working on getting back very soon. My cousin, I don't even want to use my cousin's name because they're not on YouTube. But she asked me about going to her daughter's wedding. And she said, Stephanie, are you going to be in the country? Because her daughter's wedding next couple months. So because of her daughter's wedding, I'm going to make sure my ticket is at least the next day or two after her daughter's wedding. But I already paid for my cards, paid off. I already got my title, so I can sell my card anytime. And soon as that wedding is finished, I'm more than likely going to be getting on a plane and going back to the motherland. Pure, you see? That's what I just got through talking about. I got to go to my cousin's wedding. That's when in the next month or so, and then I will be going back to the motherland. My patrons will be having the behind the scenes report update, and they'll be knowing when I get home. They'll be seeing me getting my apartment and all that, knowing that they can come and hang out with me when I get there. Everybody else I'll update on YouTube, but not as much as on my Patreon. But it won't be that much longer, I promise. It's just I can't say exact dates because of safety reasons, because I do solo. I know, Rob, that is good. But it was just so funny because everybody thinks I'm always in Africa. It's just so funny. It's like they don't call me that much, and if you call them, they busy, but they just assume that I'm in Africa, It's just too funny, guys. I just always think about being in Africa. That's it, And thanks to WhatsApp, when I'm in Africa, I can still contact someone who's in the United States and still talk to them, especially when they don't talk to me all that much. No way. but the people in the Gambia are definitely waiting for me. Okay, it's more people coming up in here. Where you at, y'all? Let me see. Say hello to me and let me know where y'all coming from so I can see y'all's comments and know where y'all coming from, etc., etc. Because I do want to get this started, but I know it's one person out there that was supposed to be coming into the studio so y'all could get introduced. But I don't want to say any names unless that person is here, y'all. And I am trying my best not to cut nobody off on this. Y'all know I'm not good at all these comments. But if you're out there, put in a comment. Let me know where y'all watching me from. Oh, here you go. Hey, Tanya, how you doing, sis? I'm glad you're here from Ohio. I actually got a license in Ohio before. See how when you old, you done just, if you haven't been there, you thinking about going there. But I did get my nursing license in Ohio before. But before I went, I ended up actually going someplace else because I was one of these people that actually moved around a lot, even in the United States. So thank you for letting me know. And welcome to the show, y'all. We are all part of it. I'm so happy y'all all came. I think I'm waiting for one more person. Now, if she doesn't show up in a few minutes, we'll just go ahead on. But I know that she had come through on a comment. Yeah. So if you're out there, sister, you know you're supposed to be getting clicked in today where you at. But otherwise, I'm going to put out this link. And anybody who wants to come in is free to come in because we're going to be talking about gender bias in the Gambia and also the caste system, y'all. Because I think that's all important because it's so complicated when you're talking about new areas, new cultures. When this live is done, y'all can see in the information section all the links that I put down when I was preparing for the show. Because y'all know I don't like to just be doing stuff. Because I printed this out for myself. This one is the Gambian National Gender Policy 2010 to 2020, prepared by Ministry of Women Affairs. And I have the link there, but if not, y'all see that is the, National Gender Policy. So they understand that they did have a problem. Yeah, because they do have the policy for it. Prepared by Women's Affairs. And then I have Gambian culture notes too. Yeah, Gambian culture notes. Because when you're going to a new place, you need to know something about the culture. So I did put a link to it. If you don't see the link, let me know because I can always add it to it. But I tried my best to not forget that link. And then yesterday, I went to a Zoom workshop by Dr. Cambone with a Bibi Tumikasa. And I actually learned about concentric circles. And it was very interesting because the concentric circles actually covered some of the concepts that I think about when you're moving somewhere. Because lots of times we've been so brainwashed that we think of ourselves as miniature saviors to people. And you think like the West, that just because you're going over there and you're giving them a quote job, that you're actually doing them some good. Well, that's what everybody else was already doing, giving them jobs. And they've been so brainwashed with colonization, and I'm not talking about the elites, the ones at the top. I'm talking about the people at the bottom. They're still suffering from the scars of colonization. The ones that'll say, when you ask them how much, oh, whatever you think is best. You know, I even saw that Go Black to Africa, and that's what one of his complaints was, that people not knowing their worth, telling you something like that. That actually irritates me too, because I want to know what is the price. You know, I want to pay you a fair wage. I do not want to pay you a slave wage or unfair wage, a wage that's not a living wage. Whoever is new that came into the chat, please give me a shout out. Let me know where you're watching me from. Yeah, I just get so sad when people tell me that, because then I have to turn around the next time and just ask in general for the cost, for the people that will tell you what's their price. Even if you have to negotiate some, you eventually learn what's the going rate, so you can just pay these people who've been brainwashed to have low self-esteem and just tell you whatever you want to give me. Because some people will be generous and give you something, and some people will not. Some people will just take advantage of you. I can't do this one. Somebody's sending me the link that was supposed to come, but that's okay. I'll just take a second, y'all. I cannot send no stuff like that because I'm working on my laptop, and this person is sending me a message on my phone. So that's not going to work that way. That link doesn't work that way, but I can give a link to the show, y'all. So if y'all just wait, give me just a second, I will do that. I will do that. And then let's see. Well, maybe I can figure this out. Okay, y'all hang in there for a minute. Y'all know I'm trying to do my best. All right, let me see if I can do this, y'all. And then I'll come back and resume what I was saying. Yeah, I'll try my best, because I don't know why they call me when they know that I can't do that I have to do everything while I'm online. I cannot be holding no conversation with nobody on the phone. All right, just 1 second. I'm just trying to, oh, look, somebody else came in. Okay, Albini. All right, Albini Maroon, greetings in the chat. I'm happy. All right, I'm glad you're in the live too. I have the link here for anybody that wants to come in. I'll do it again. Like I say, somebody called me on the phone. When you know it's hard if you're working on a laptop and somebody send you a message on the phone. It's like it doesn't work together. So it's distracting. So I'm just trying to see if I can just send a link to the live. I'll just send a link to the live show, and they can just get a link off of the screen themselves, because that's all I can do. And I apologize that I'm even looking down, because I don't like to do that. Okay, so if they want to come in, they can use that link. But anyways, before I got sent that link that was on my phone, when I'm on my laptop, that takes me away from you guys, and I'm sorry, because y'all are here. Albini, where you coming from? Let me know, sis. And I hope I'm calling you the right, because sometimes with names you can't tell. So let me know where you're calling me, where you're saying hello from. And if anybody else is new to the chat, say hello. Let me know where you're coming from. And if somebody wants to come on, I will click you into the show. UK. Okay. UK. Shout out to UK. That's lovely. Hope I see you all in the Gambia soon. Like I was saying earlier. How, Mr. Uganda? Hey, Mr. Uganda. How you doing? Nice to see you too, UK represent. Thank you for coming. Okay, I believe we have enough. If y'all want to come into the show and be part of it, here's the link, y'all. You all are welcome to come in. But because we're supposed to be talking about gender bias in the Gambia. Oh, I know. Yeah, we've been missing each other. That's true. Yeah, last year and this year, because I left this year in the Gambia. So hopefully soon we'll be able to see each other in the Gambia. Because I have a wedding to go to in the United States. And then after that, I'm actually good to go. I'll be updating my patrons when it gets sooner to the time. But y'all know I'm so superstitious that I can't do nothing beside that. You know, superstition is the way, as they say, and for safety reasons. But when I'll be doing one of the shows, I'll be like the happy companion. You know, I'll be doing the show and I'll be, hey, live from the Gambia. Or at least let y'all know that I'm in the Gambia. I've been letting my patrons know behind the scenes, you know, that, yeah, I'm there and I'm looking for apartments, you know, updating them on looking for apartments and stuff like that. Because hopefully I can get a 2 or 3 bedroom so I can have my patrons and hang out with me. And my family too, because I know at least 1 or 2 of them actually said they want to come and visit into the Gambia and stay actually a decent amount of time. So we shall see, guys. We shall see. Because sometimes when it comes to relatives, they'll say they want to do something and then they change their mind. But anyway. Oh, me and you both, Mr. Uganda, me and you both. Oh, but anyways, the gender bias. Have y'all seen the gender bias in the Gambia? I know that the Gambia is well aware that they have a gender bias because, like I was saying a bit earlier. Okay, here you go. Okay, hey, 10. I will send you the link that I've been sending everywhere else. You just click on this link that I'm sending you. Hold on. Uh-oh. I'm supposed to be doing it this way, y'all. Okay, there's the link right there for anybody who wanted to clink in. Yeah. Justina, I hope you see that link there, the StreamYard link that's in the comments. Just click that on, and then I can see you and click you in. But you have to click on that link. Thank you, Mr. Uganda. You're correct. Oh, here we go. Hey, Jenna. How are you? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Justina.
Oh, you can't hear me?
I can't hear you clearly.
Oh,
Mm-mm. She's muted her mic. You're okay. Now say something. Can you say something now? I can hear you now, but your mic got to be too far away.
Okay. It sounds like you're like we're two.
I can hear you now.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Welcome. Welcome,
Oh,
Justina.
how are you?
I'm good. Can you
Good.
tell all the guests hello and who you are?
Hey guys, I'm Justina Thompson. I've changed my name to my YouTube channel 3 times already. But I was Smorgasbord channel. And now then I changed to he's married to a kid. I just changed it again for our journey back to the Gambia. So while we're working this out, we're new folks. While we're working this out, just be patient with us. But just subscribe to our channel, and I'll just let you know what we finally end up with. But I am a seventh generation of Putakente. My grandmother is um, the granddaughter to George. Oh, she got the blue. Yes. Alex Haley is my cousin. And
Trying to narrow
so
it down.
yeah, so that's the Gambia. And we are currently working on a documentary, and hopefully we'll be releasing it. So guys, we need your support on our channel.
Bring your mic closer, Justina. Bring your mic closer. Bring your mic closer. Your mic.
Okay.
Okay. Uh-huh. Now speak.
Okay. I'm getting like some kind of reverb or something too.
No, you're fine. Just speak.
Okay. So anyway, so I'm getting ready to release the documentary, but want to subscribe to our channel, and it's in the interest of us trying to. Oh, it's in.
Just bring your mic closer to you. That's all.
Okay. I'm speaking right in front of it.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
And I just wanted you to introduce yourself briefly because I was getting ready to start talking about gender bias in the Gambia.
Okay. Okay. So.
No, go ahead and get done just telling them just briefly about you so we can start talking about gender bias.
Okay. So anyway, we're working feverishly trying to finish our documentary so we can release our documentary so that it'll monetize so we can start doing large projects in the Gambia. We've done several distributions collecting critical item needs stuff for the village of Jufre. We adopted the village of Jufre. That's the birthplace.
Okay, so that's where your family is from,
That's where
Kunta
my
Kinte
family's from.
Island, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you know a lot about the gender bias in the Gambia, right? If they have a gender
Absolutely.
bias. Okay. So can you just start us off just telling us just a little bit about the gender bias, and then it'll be open for anybody else to say something that they want to say about gender bias.
Oh, okay. So I noticed when I'm going to do when I'm setting up business meetings or I've actually done. I'll give you a simple example. I a gospel program, and after the program was done and everything, I was standing there, uh, and the what? Can you hear me?
No, I'm just talking to the comments. Keep going, sis.
Oh, okay. And the pastor, my husband was with me in 2016, right? So, and the uh, the gospel performers there, we were all standing around and he was saying the goodbyes and thank yous and giving out all the accolades. Well, I'm the one that brought the singers over to the Gambia, to Jeshwan, the church, to perform and everything. But the pastor shook everybody's hand that was standing around us except my hand. He even shook my husband's hand. But my hand got shook at the last, I was the last one whose hand he shook because it was all males standing there.
Oh, okay.
I'm
So
the
yeah,
one
so that was the
who,
bias that he did not shake your hand.
yes, or
Do
at
you
the,
think it might have
until the
been
end.
something? Do you think it might have been something dealing with their culture too? That maybe they don't
Culture and
shake
gender
women
bias.
hand if
And
they
gender
not.
bias.
Yeah.
And I even tried to, hold on,
Because did you
go
see
out of
him shaking any other women's hands that day? Because I know some of the culture, the men actually do not touch other women unless, unless it's their sister or cousin or something, that they don't actually make physical contact with anybody else's
It could
wife.
have been, it could have been both. It could have
Okay.
been both.
Okay.
But I definitely think it was gender.
Okay.
I definitely think it was gender.
Okay. All right, guys. Whoever else is out there, if you felt like you saw some gender bias out there in the Gambia and y'all want to come in and just say something, or you just want to make a comment off to the side, please let us know, because I want to make this fair and balanced. I did put some links in the description, so afterwards y'all can do some of your own research by just using the links that I gave y'all to get y'all started. Because Gambia, what I was telling them, Justina, is that Gambia understands they have a gender bias problem, and that they actually do have a Gambian national gender policy that's new. Yeah,
Mhm.
so it's a big old policy, and it's dealing with gender inequality and them trying to even it out. So they're saying that it's good for girls to go to school. It's good for women to have their own property. So they're actually trying to change the laws. But it's not just changing the laws, it's for the people to start implementing them over time. So they do see they
I,
have a problem.
and I have another a situation too. When my husband and I we went out, this year, 2016, my husband traveled with me there to the Gambia. We went to go and look for a man to travel with. I had my secretary of a nonprofit organization along with my husband. And we were going to negotiate prices because that's how you do there. And when they told us the prices, also my organization was paying for the transportation. Every time the guy negotiated and tell me how much it cost, they looked at men. They did not look at me.
Okay.
They went straight to the guys. My husband to my secretary because my secretary failed. They went straight to the guys, and I'm the
Yeah.
one with the money.
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, because when I go places, I make sure I have guys with me, because it's not like they say they're not hearing me, or they are hearing the guys, but the guys have to speak for me.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna let you see what Mr. Uganda was saying. He said, in Uganda, many men refrain from touching other women to stop gossip and cheating allegations.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also part of it. Because I also printed up the Gambian, the Gambian, the Gambian culture notes, so that
Okay.
way people can be aware that it's different cultures when you go somewhere. Because a lot of times we compare ourselves to the West when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
culture, and we actually have to learn what's the other person's culture, so we won't be offended and they won't be offended. Our expectations can meet up in the middle somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And Abina says it's changed slowly, unfortunately. Yes. And I agree with that. And that's a worldwide thing. Because even in the United States, I find that it's plenty gender bias over here
Yeah.
too. That a lot of times stuff that I will say, and a man will say the same thing. They will hear the man saying it, even though I'm the one who actually had the original idea. And that's right from the Western people. Okay, so Abina says domestic violence and abuse is commonplace, but it's not spoken about. And you know, Abina, that is a problem worldwide, because I have experienced this right in the United States with people that I know, and nobody talks about it. If it wouldn't have happened in front of me, I would have never known that that happened. You know, I've seen it happen, and even in my family more than one time. Not to me, but it's happened, and nobody says a word about it. You know, they'll make excuses for it. Even the abused person will make excuses of why that person hurt them.
What's wrong, bro?
So I think that's a worldwide situation about abuse. And also, I think that when we have all these caste systems, that rolls over into gender bias and all these abuses, because if you feel like you're abused, you turn around in a pick and order and hurt somebody who you feel has less power. And in this case, the person with less power is the person with the gender that you consider lower than you. Yes, it is unfortunate, but I'm telling you, Mr. Uganda, it happens worldwide, because I'm telling you, I can attest to in my own family. I was crying because I had not ever seen anything like that happen in my family. When it did happen, it was not in front of my face. I could see people like hiding from somebody or whatever in the country, you know, and they say, well, you know, so and so, he lose his mind and then he hurt his wife, and so they hide her, you know. But I actually saw somebody beat their wife in front of me. And then of course my father threw him out the house. But still that person went back to their abuser right after that. Dating and everything. It's very complex. But how about the caste system? Have you seen even our diasporans treat the local Gambians who they feel like is in a position lower than you, lower than them, with disrespect?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Because I've seen people insult people because of the way that they're waiting on them or whatever. But they realized that the people did not get paid that much, but they were insensitive to the people not getting paid that much. They did not want to give them a tip in the first place. And even somebody told me that they're not used to that, you know. So
What
somebody
what
that I
what
work
what I
for,
do normally, if I see something like that happening, Stephanie, I try to go out of my way to make uh, to 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 tip that person, and also to make that person feel special. You know,
yeah,
because
but
it's nothing
I
like
tip, but I'm
having
just saying
somebody.
while it's happening, all you can do is observe. And then after the person left, I talk to the people about it, because otherwise it just gets to be a big confusion. I want clarity when they understand this is how I do and this is how I feel. And then they have to think about what they did and see if they feel like it's okay, on if they're actually practicing Pan-Africanism when they go back to the motherland and treating their sisters and brothers with respect, or if they're just another gentrifier.
Yeah. Yes.
Because sometimes, people don't think of what they're doing as gentrification. Okay, I'm going to bring Mr. Uganda in. Let's see if I can figure this out, y'all. Let me see. Hey, Mr. Uganda.
Greetings. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can, brother. I can.
It's nice to see you on your show. Do you know Stephanie has a special place in my heart because I'm always shouting her out. I'm always like, Stephanie, hey Stephanie, whenever I see her about on these YouTube streets. I think Stephanie's just a cool person because when you were in the Gambia, you had like a sense of joy that I didn't see amongst other people. And even if other people did, yours it resonated with me because videos where you would talk about having the coconut, like Coconut Chronicles, and I would just be like, oh my, she's like my auntie in my head, like having a good time. And yeah, it was just really cool to see you out there.
Well, thank you, brother.
No problem. I think I felt compelled to call in because you guys were speaking about gender-based violence or even gender bias, and I think it's a really unfortunate reality. And especially when you get into some areas of the continent, a lot of the community, because it's not just men, but a lot of the community, they exhibit like these very archaic thoughts, of women being less than, and you'll see it play out in very normalized dynamics or even attitudes towards how women should approach daily things. I think this isn't Gambia in particular, but I remember I was reading a story with Nigeria, and there's like in the Igbos, I think they pass land down by their patrilineal line, so the male descendants.
It's the oldest son.
Yes, and there was actually a girl child, and her father didn't leave her anything. He left it to the boy children, and she would have really needed at least some resources, but due to some attitudes on the continent, they don't consider that women are like worth giving anything to because they expect the girls to marry into somebody else's wealth. But that's not always the case now because, with us needing more women to enter education and get a fair chance at life, not a lot of them are going to marry at the expected time. So they actually do need a lot of the resources to be passed down to them because they may be getting married later in life. So I just think it's imperative that we start to protect women and young girls because if we don't, we're leaving them at a disadvantage and we're essentially oppressing our own people.
I agree. And with that Nigerian system, it's actually like a caste system also built into the family because it's the oldest son. So no matter who has that oldest son, it's that the oldest son who gets everything, and then he decides how it's divided. So he may be a fair person and give everybody something. He might decide he wants it all for himself.
Mm-hmm. And especially if some of these areas are actually, let me correct that. Because some of these areas can exhibit extreme poverty, like abject poverty, or even they're not in proximity to a healthy wealth area, a lot of times they won't give the land. They won't distribute the wealth equally, by will, because they want the money, because they want to elevate themselves, and they just don't see it as important enough to give it fairly between all the children. And I just think there's a lot of things that have to change on the continent. And whilst I'm saying this, I'm thankful that you specified it down to caste issues, because I've been saying this for a while, that a lot of what we deal with around the world is actually a caste systems.
Mm-hmm.
I think racism is just one tool of the caste system that is prevalent within the West. You know, it's a mantle which the dominant society can grab onto to oppress people who are quote unquote black. But on this side of the earth, we don't get the racism because, I mean, not unless you're in like a heavily populated area, but you still get the sense of a caste system, you know, that people are oppressing people less than them or who they view as less than them. And I think that that's the illness we have to eradicate, because if we don't, then we're just going to set ourselves up to be in the same predicament in like the next coming decades, you know?
I agree. Because I've actually been sent, like I say, I get upset when I see it happening in the Gambia with the people treating the local people there like they're just their servants, that their whole object is not the concentric circle. Where I was understanding how Dr. Cambone was talking, he said, when you're all working together, the people that's closest in the center, your labor becomes money. So if you could have somebody that was already in the Gambia doing all of the work, why not them share in the profits? You know, because their labor is money, you know. And as he was talking about the concentric circle, as you get farther from the center and people either don't have the time or they don't want to do the labor, that they can invest their quote money. That's when money gets involved.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree. And I think there's definitely a need there has to be like an adjustment in the psychology of how we view other people, because though I'm not from the Gambia, I think I see enough from the footage around, you know, even when people go to areas like Nigeria, Ghana, and we discuss amongst ourselves how, let's say, the house help are treated, and people who are like from a low socioeconomic status, there's like a feeling of apathy, you know, and they don't regard them as human, you know. It's like,
most of the time, the people that's their house help is actually their what they call their poor relations. So you think that they don't have any connection to those people, but yes, they do. Because I actually visited a household where the house help was the husband's poor family member. And they was talking about that the girl was lazy, that they could send her back home to her mom, you know, but they had the girl doing so much work, it was a sin. You know, it was like a quote, Black Cinderella, but she was actually a relative.
That's really disgusting.
I know. They did not send her to school. She was the only child in the house that did not go to school, but she had to cook and clean and keep and take care of the younger children and everything. And so I decided I would never visit them again. And I did tell the person who was directly related to them exactly what they did, and told them that that was not acceptable. So they know exactly how I felt about it.
So that there's people like you, because unfortunately it's not rare that you was like, most people would see something and say something. I think there's like an attitude that we should just leave how they want to ruffle any feathers, but when there's like grave errors against one another, I think it's imperative that someone sticks up for people who can't speak up themselves, because even within the framework of the person being subservient, you know, overly subservient, they haven't seen any examples where someone like themselves has stood up against someone who is belittling them, you know? So when you come along, it's like at least they have someone to identify with, you know, a source of strength who is able to challenge the status quo. And I think that's very necessary because your body can't do what the mind has not done already. Like you can't,
Exactly.
yeah, you can't flex for a movement that you haven't yet seen. So when people, if they were to see more examples of us sticking up for them and, you know, championing their fight, they might be more inclined to actually do it themselves and feel proud and, you know, the stuff that's necessary.
Yes. I think as we go along and start moving back to the continent, the people that actually are functioning Pan-Africanists like Dr. Campbell, with that mentality that your work is money, that you could see your brothers and sisters that not only as your equal, but as actually investing with you their time, you know, that you actually respect their time too, and not think
Mm.
that giving them a little bit more than the minimum wage they was already used to getting was acceptable, because it's not acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
That you have to understand that they deserve a living wage, that all of this uh pity party where you just bringing them things and dumping on them is not helping, that you have to actually bring them to another level, the next level.
Absolutely. And thank you for making that distinction because we might think that dropping them a bouquet or bringing them like a pack of chocolates is elevating their position, you know, at least making them happier than they would have been. But if there's an opportunity to actually elevate them up the economic ladder, socioeconomic ladder, then I feel like that is a truer sense of empowering someone, you know, so that they
Mhm.
don't so that they're not stuck in the same squalor circumstances. And I think when I go back to the continent, because the more I was seeing footage around, because I really didn't start watching videos such as yourself, um, all of this stuff until like last year,
Mhm.
October time. So the more I was watching footage, I was like, I really wanted to see myself helping people, and it wasn't just me dropping by and saying hello and then giving like some toiletries. No, I meant like building something for them to feel comfortable in, for them to feel loved, and for them to actually have a living. Because the quality of life, sometimes you can't even call it a living. It's just letting the days go by, you know. But
Mhm.
that's not the true sense of life. Like you should have an opportunity, you know.
Right, because you know people can be trained, just like if you can be trained to just say build a earth house. They already in the earth house, but it's new and improved methods. So when they learn that new and improved method, just say you're paying them $1 or $2 a day for them to do the house for them. With those same skills, they actually can turn around and build a house for themselves the same way. And they can build a business for themselves the same way, if they just see how it all fits together. You know, if you don't just give them just one specific job, if you let them see how all of it fits together.
Absolutely. And I think that's a great thing that you're saying because quite often because people feel like there's a shortage of skill in the continent, but I feel like it's not that there's a shortage of skill, it's that it's not being applied correctly, you know, because they're not being given models to action their behavior after. But I think if people were to actually demonstrate that you can use your skill for this and show them the framework, then we would see more true empowerment, you know? I would love to see some of these people actually own their own home, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
That would that
That's
would be
one of my things that I want to do when I go back, because with Habasia, my nonprofit, grassroots, so real grassroots, like Mother Teresa. To me, I think the main problem, like you was talking about, is a mental thing. And so if you can encourage people that they can do it, and then get them their skills, like I said, instead of just watching them just make the bricks, that also let them see, okay, once I have the bricks, I do this part. And then when they doing all the other parts, that they also have to stay there like an apprenticeship and work with the plumbers, work with the electricians, so they can see how all of the house fits together, you know. And once they do that apprenticeship, then they're okay to go out there and say, build their house or build somebody else's house. And then once they get just a little experience, they're okay to keep on building other houses and eventually make a living off of it. And when somebody asks them how much they want to build their house, they'll actually know a price to tell them instead of just saying, whatever you want to give me, which is actually a slave wage thing.
Yeah, I think because a lot of workers, they're not used to seeing the actual thing they deserve. Quite often they can assign themselves a slave wage, essentially, which is a non-existent salary. And that's the issue, is that we consent to the low wages, even inadvertently. But I feel like there has to be like a paradigm shift, you know, in which we actually pay people what they deserve, even if it goes above the minimum wage in the Gambia. It might even have to match the minimum wage in the States. You know what I'm saying? It has to be about the true exchange of labor for money, not just what's been set. And I have to accept that, you know?
I agree with you on that, because I think it has to be like you're talking about our conscience, to let us realize that they actually have families and everything, that you are not their savior to be sending their children to school and call yourself feeding them and clothing them like their children, because that's a Western concept, that they're your brothers and sisters and all they need to be is empowered and they can do it for themselves just like they doing it for us.
That's a very beautiful way of expressing it, right? Because I think there's definitely an over dramatization of how much of a savior one can be over other people. But you can never really bring someone, you can never really save someone unless they consent to be saving themselves. And I think that's the true source of it. You have to let people find the strength within themselves, because that's when you're going to do the good work. Because it's all well and good. You might actually go over there and be able to alleviate their condition whilst you're there. But when you leave, you want to also feel confident that they have the skill set, the mental fortitude, and the strength of spirit to actually fulfill what they need to do when you leave, you know?
Yes. Because I know I've seen a widow go from being a starving widow, because just say her 12-year-old son that had polio left to try to get a job in a big city. And of course, how much money could he make to help feed his mom and siblings? Okay. So anyhow, we got that lady into just say animal husbandry class, because she said yes, she was interested in raising chickens, because everybody know it's about the cheapest thing to learn how to do is raise chickens. Even though, just imagine if you're a poor widow, you don't have that initial investment, even if it's just $10 for registering your business, you don't have it. If it's just $15 for a 7 to 10 day class to be certified by the state, you don't have it. You're starving, you know? So just say you get the person their initial food stuff, so that you eliminate that hunger part, the food, clothing, and shelter. Okay, so they're eating, and then they take their class, and then all they need is to get, just say, the chicken coops built so they can get approved by the government to raise their chickens. And just say you do that. And then from that, with the skills they learned in class, they actually have their own chicken business. And I remember going to that village, because I had never seen her village. I went to that village, saw the lady. She had asked for animals. And I said, I can't afford no animals. She already got chickens and eggs. Just don't eat the chickens, sell the eggs. And when I went there, she had figured it out that she actually was making money. And she bought her own goats. I was so proud of her. I'm like, she actually went to the next level, you know? And so
Mm-hmm.
she was so husky and healthy, and her skin was bright because she was self-sufficient, you know? She had chickens. That was the only requirement, that the chickens had to be free range so they would have a good aura, you know, in the eggs. And they were free range chickens, and they looked so happy. And she was happy, her children was happy, and she didn't have to worry anymore because she did it herself.
That's beautiful. And I think because I'm going to bring in a bit of context as to how I started watching, because I did mention that I started watching all of this YouTube stuff last year, right? So I actually
Mm-hmm.
entered this YouTube community. I've mentioned this on many platforms, but it was actually through all of the drama that was happening, you know?
Oh,
And what the thing that was I had to really assess is that I was seeing an abundance of the negatives, that it was starting to cloud my reality, you know, and I wasn't given time for the good that I was hearing people do. But it's great. I feel blessed that you're able to relay that story to me, in that I'm able to at least, you know, have an insight into what you do, you know, and the good that you do. And I feel like it's a privilege, because a lot of people they don't have the heart to accept that some people actually do good. And I feel like, just thank you for sharing that with everyone, you know. It's really powerful, because the thing is that some I mean, a lot of people would like to over-aggrandize the work that they would do to help somebody, but your story is really demonstrating that it doesn't really take a lot, you know. You have to just go in with the right mindset, and you have to have direction, you know. And I feel like those are the key things I'm picking up from what you're saying, you know, and I'm just grateful you're sharing that. That's a piece of wisdom. So I'm
thank you.
clapping to that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. But it's, to me, I was just led by the ancestors, and I had already had good examples with the Catholic nuns. They were black nuns, and they sacrificed their whole family life just so we would have a better chance of being educated, you know, in this white caste system in America. You know, here these Catholic black nuns sacrificing their own personal life to make us better people. Because I started off as a poor person. My mother would sacrifice to pay this little $5 a month for me to go to Catholic school, you know, and that was hard for her to do that, because she was making salads in a cafeteria, you know, so she was making minimum wage. And I know that I became a nurse because the nuns took me to the library and showed me that it's something besides minimum wage, you know, it's something else out there. And I got so addicted to books and knowing that it was something better. And so I was always wanting to go places and do things. And I went to another level only because of the sacrifices of my poor mother, the sacrifices of the nuns. And then I knew people like Reverend Martin, who was my in-law, had actually gotten educated in the United States by missionaries. He was their houseboy. And he came here, just say worked for room and board with black people and got an education. And then he actually went back to Nigeria to help his people, to build up the community. He was a Pan-Africanist in 1922. And he said Africa was for the Africans. And so he wanted us all to go back and build a motherland. And so to me, in that vein, I just follow, because he done so many things to help his people, you know, so many schools, a hospital, a church, etc. And so I go in as a secular person because I believe people should be whatever their parents are. You know, I don't like to mess with the family system, but I definitely was all for self-empowerment.
Thank you for sharing that. And I have to pick up something that stood out to me when you were talking about that, and it's when you said that you knew there was more to life than minimum wage, and you started reading. You know, I'm in the UK, and I don't see a lot of Black people in the part of the UK I'm in. But it's very, very sad that when I see that there's Black people in certain spaces like university, a lot of them are really suffering with mental illness, right?
Hmm.
Like depression, anxiety, and a lot of people just don't have the will. They don't know what they're fighting for anymore. They don't even know what their purpose is in life. So when you were saying how you knew there was more to like the minimum wage and what you've been through has spurred you to like go in your profession and all of that stuff, that's a real privilege. And I say that because I thought everyone had like a desire to build. You know, when I was younger, I used to think, why aren't people working? Like, oh, like surely, like if you drop out of this, like it's your fault. And I had a very, very like one-dimensional view of the world, you know. But the
Hmm.
older I've gotten, like I just see that some people they've been so battered through life that they just don't have the desire to fight. You know, some people don't know what their conviction is. So I'm blessed you've shared that because I mean it's a real privilege in this modern day because not everyone has something they feel like they can fight for. And so I know you're going to go very, very far with what you do, you know, and you've held it within you for so many years. And that's why I fully support you. I can sense you're a very, very genuine person. And when you're in the Gambia, like I said that your face was glowing, your hair was glowing. Like I was just like, I need to see you win, you know. I wanted to be front row to when you win. And I'm just grateful. And I'm also grateful that you and the Happy Companion have such a good relationship, you know, supporting each other. And, you know, I think the Happy Companion was at the beach the other day. And I'm like, yeah, you and Stephanie need to be at the beach, like just showing us the
Yeah,
Gambia.
yeah,
You know,
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be watching you like all the time. Like I don't always comment, because I don't really comment on YouTube stuff, but I'm watching, you know. I just felt like I like what you're doing and I just like your energy and it's just I've even got a smile on my face right now because
Thank you.
like you're really helping you're really really helping and I'm gonna share your video like this conversation it's priceless you know like it's to me I'm always drawn to people who have a good story to tell you know people who have a lot of wisdom to offer I feel like I gravitate towards people with wisdom you know it gets me I don't know how to explain it you've just done a lot for me today so thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming on and sharing too with me and with everybody else on the show.
No problem.
Yeah, makes my day. And I'm telling you, when I tell my stories, it's only because it's already in me as a griot, you know, a griotist. It's like everybody in my family pretty much is storytellers. It's just that not everybody's interested in being on YouTube, you know? And the
Mhm.
things that I'm motivated for is different because I think that some people hear the ancestors and accept the duty, and some people hear the ancestors and they just ignore it, you know. But I only feel good when I'm actually doing things that's a part of my purpose.
That is a blessing. I'm just oh I don't know how, I don't think I can how happy that well everything you've said has made me happy. You know, I'm like it's like I've met a celebrity and you know, I get to talk to a celebrity and yeah, just extremely grateful. And thank you for raising the topic of gender bias. I don't know if I said this already, but just thank you because um you're really speaking up for people who don't feel like they have a voice, you know. Though I've never seen domestic violence, though I've never experienced it, I can only imagine a fraction of what it feels like, you know. And all of gender bias, you know, be considered because you're a woman, or to be denied certain because you're a woman, not good, you know, to belittle people, to make people feel like less than. So you're doing the good work because if you can at least make one person happy, if you can make at least one person feel strength, then you're doing a job well done. And that's what it's all about. It's about doing right because we have a culture nowadays where it's permissible to bully, it's permissible to, you know, walk by someone who's being stepped on, you know, but you've taken an active choice, you know, because as you said, like the ancestors call to people, but it's really a choice as to whether you want to take it or not. So when you take the active choice to support someone's well-being, you have nothing but my gratitude to just thank you again.
Well, hopefully I can motivate other people to also do it too, you know, because that was the whole purpose of Reverend Martin, you know, that's even when he wrote the book, it was just to say that I hope that I've done enough good that at least one person or two people would do what I'm doing, you know, and keep going, you know. And so that's how I feel, that no matter what I have, that it's enough to share with somebody. And I always have enough encouragement. I'm always a good cheerleader. And I can motivate you to go from, say, having a walking tour to having the big tour when the movie stars come, you know. That's my gift, you know, that I can let you see that you can do it, because that actually happened to one of my Facebook friends. You know, he was a walking tour person, and all I did was share one of his posts. And one of my friends that actually, I guess, was always flying to Dubai and all that stuff, he gave that post to someone else, and they called him, and he started having more business. And then when that big thing in Ghana happened, you know, he became one of the ones taking pictures with all the movie stars, you know. So he is no more a walking tour company. He actually went to the next level, you know, that he have big chartered buses that can take movie stars about, and he can take pictures with movie stars, you know.
Thank you for sharing that. And again, it's just all demonstrating to me that it take a lot to help someone, you know. It's very ordinary things that can really elevate people, you know, because maybe what you say wind up in the hands of someone who's really influential, and they can really make a big change. But yeah, you're giving me a lot to work with in terms of my perspective, you know. So thank you again.
You're welcome. And thank you for coming up here, because I feel much better when I'm interacting with someone else. You know, as a storyteller, it's like it's a call and response, and I don't get the same feel when it's just the comments off to the side.
Absolutely. And I was like, when you dropped the link, I think I was like, I have to jump on this. The only reason I didn't call in a little bit sooner is because I was breaking my food together. But something I would say is that would you travel elsewhere in the continent? Like, what's your perspective of things? Like, if you had to go to somewhere else, in addition to the Gambia, where would that place be?
Well, I already had started off in Nigeria, you know. We had a hygiene program in Nigeria. So I started off in Nigeria, and then we had an after school program in Ghana. That's how I became a chief in Ghana. I didn't do any of that stuff to be installed. That was the last thing on my mind, was becoming anybody's chief. I just was trying to help people. And so that was there. And so just say, so far, Habasi has done things, because Habasi, like I say, I'm Habasi. It's Nigeria, Ghana, and Gambia. And so my dream is that Habasi will be like Pinocchio, a real nonprofit, because it's already registered and it's a 501c3, you know, so that's fine. But I wanted to be able to survive past me with other people being involved, feeling like, yes, I'm Habasia, and that they can do a difference by just doing something where they are. Because I would like that to be happening all over the motherland. I'm a seed planter, so I can help set up community-based organizations in all of those places, as long as the people make it work. They have to do the work themselves to make that keep going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like, I don't know, I'm getting a real insight to this, you know? You call in because I feel like the reciprocation in this conversation, it's doing, and definitely you're right, it's about the people, you know, at the end of the day. They have to have the will to fight for a better tomorrow. And I think that's the work you're really doing, you know. I'm just I'm very proud, you know. I'm very, very proud. Again, you're like my auntie in my head. So yeah.
Well, I don't
So,
have a problem being the auntie. I'm everybody's grandma in Tanzania. I was everybody's grandma, you know. So I'm people's grandma. I'm their auntie. I'm their mom. So I'm happy.
I mean, that's a real privilege, you know, because everyone loves their mums, you know, like, and that's another thing I want to mention since we're talking about, you know, is when you were mentioning how your mother really supported you to get into Catholic school. So
Mhm.
I can assuredly say this, that there's nothing like a mother's love, you know?
Right.
Mother's love, like she will fight for you till the end. I have a mother and she loves me very much, you know. I'm crazy. But she has my back, you know? And every time I look at her and she was struggling, I was just like, I really want to give back to you one day because she's done more for me than I ever did for myself. And I remember when I was in primary school, um, I was behaving in my history class, and my history teacher was like, your mother worked nights. Like, do right by her, you know? Because it's not easy. Like, I've worked a night shift. Even though I'm like quite young, it's like I wanted all the money. So they were offering up a rate for working night shift. And
Mhm.
it tired like it takes more of a toll than people appreciate, you know. And it's like
Right.
your body, your biological clock, it wants to sleep during the night, but you're awake. And there's been times when I'd nearly be fainting because, you know, my body wants to sleep. But my mom has done this for 20 years, above 20 years, and I'm just like, this is crazy. Like, she has to love us extremely to be able to make a sacrifice like that. It's
Yeah.
extreme. I think that's what helps me in terms of really seeing it for women, because I feel like sometimes empathy is lacking, you know.
Mhm.
People don't want to ever put themselves in the position of a woman because they're like, I have it good. Or if there's many more intersections that make someone seemingly lower, no one ever wants to imagine what it's like to fill those shoes. But I feel like that's really where it starts, you know? You have to
Yeah.
really identify the person as being a human just like yourself, but they're just different. And different is beautiful. And we must.
I imagine myself as the same because remember, I can remember how it felt to be poor. I
Hmm.
can remember, and I pray that I never forget how that feels. So that way, I'm not having sympathy for anybody. I actually empathize with them because I know, but for the grace of the Most High, it could be me, you know, that I was empowered to self sufficiency. You know, like I said, my mother suffered for me to get that $5 a month tuition, and I was the only child, you know. And then when I got married, it's like time I got married, I got pregnant, you know. 9 months later, we had a baby. I could not afford to get into the prenatal care because in US, you know, you have to pay. So the free prenatal care, my husband made $8 too much to get in the program. $8. And I cried. I said, but that's an overtime check. And the lady said, I don't care. And so when I was crying, the other lady that worked there said, baby, the private hospitals have a sliding scale. You could get on there. So I went there. They had a sliding scale and I got in. It was a Catholic hospital. I was still Catholic. Got in. You had to pay your money by the 7th month. Okay, or they kick you out. So
Wow.
still, my mother helped me with her coins. You know how you roll up coins. She gave me the rest of the money for the by my 7th month, so I wouldn't get kicked out of the program. And then when the baby was born, he didn't look anything like us, but we took him home anyway because we were poor. And you just took the baby that they gave you, because I thought that African DNA, because my husband at the time was Nigerian, 100% Nigerian. So I'm thinking, oh, Kunta Kinte, dominant genes. The baby has to be born chocolate with an afro. And instead, he looked like my mother, her recessive genes. She Creole. So she was high yellow. So my baby was high yellow too. Very light complected. I tried to give him to my Mexican roommate. And she thought it was her baby because our babies looked alike. And the nurse was so upset. She said, no, that's not your baby. Yes, that is your baby. And she showed us the bracelets. And I thought, switched at birth, But I thought, I'm poor. What can I do? And we just took the baby home. And as they would joke and say, feed him till he looked like you. And our in-laws came to the house and they looked at the baby and they say, oh, you see the knot on the back of my head, the knot on the back of Edwin's head, the knot on the back of Dominic's head, which was my husband. And then pointed at the baby and say, he's got that knot. Oh, yes, he is our son.
Wow.
So, as a poor person, that you feel so helpless that you have to take home the baby that they gave you because you have no power to demand even your own baby.
That is like the most profound story I think I've heard. That's thank you for sharing that. And even someone in the comments called P. Davis said, wow, I don't even think I can articulate what that means. And just thank you for sharing it, because I've never been at that level in terms of finances, because my mother's always been like a safety net, my mother and my father. But that helplessness you must have felt, my heart really goes out for you,
Yeah. And after that, my husband became a pharmacist. I became a registered nurse. So we had money. And we even was so crazy, we didn't even know what to do with it. We squandered a lot of it. So I understand how it go to the next level too soon, how you can still mess up. It can do all kind of destructive things to your family system. So I am not for just empowering the woman or just empowering the man. That's why I have on my Habasia logo, the man, the woman, and the child, because it's the whole family system that needs to stay intact when they get to the next level. But that's with the whole community supporting them and not just saying, oh, let's just say empower the woman so the man can feel like he's nobody. Because I've seen those systems where they only have programs set up for women, and then they empower them to make more money, and then the man feel like he doesn't have a place. I'm more for empowering the whole family system at once.
There's a proverb, and I'm not quoting it verbatim because I'm not sure about what it is, but essentially it goes, a blow that strikes the head will undoubtedly hit the brain. So that was getting at how if one unit is hit, best believe what he's protecting will also be hit. So it's essential that you protect both the woman and the man, child if they have one too, because something that impacts one in an adverse sense will also hurt the other, and to heal one bit without healing the other is sometimes a great disservice to the unit, because you need to heal both so that it's an able thing. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for also recognize that, because I feel like there are definitely some areas that I've seen on YouTube where they tried to empower the women by completely stepping on the men, and it can be vice versa as well. Like some people try to empower the men by really diminishing the women, but it's about the unit, you know, it's about the team, not about the individual. When you bring someone into your life, it's about the team.
Right. And that's why I end up with that logo. And it actually was a Nigerian that designed that logo. He was born in the USA, and he heard what I said. And when he made that logo, I was like, wow, he must hear the ancestors too, because he made the logo exactly like I said, you know, and it wasn't where I drew anything first. I just told him, and then he did it.
That's really powerful. And yeah, I think that's called like synchronicity. I'm not pronouncing it right, but it's when both people can have like the sync, like ideas in sync, and it's really powerful when it plays out in life, you know.
Mhm.
Something else that really stuck out to me in your story is how you said that you blew through the money when you became a registered nurse, and I
Mhm.
think your husband at the time became a pharmacist.
Mhm.
You blew through the money, and that's something I've really had to learn, and I emphasize to other people that um at least for my situation, because I can speak from personal experience. Let's say I've worked and I've accumulated a lot of money. I have so many desires, you know, and it's like so excessive that I spent through all of it, you know. So there's a need to have a bit of self-control when you stumble upon a blessing, because it's all well and good you ask for a blessing, you know. Everyone asks for a blessing, but is everyone ready to receive a blessing? You know, because when you get it, sometimes you don't realize that you can become the enemy that you're praying against. You know, you can really fall into some human nature vices where you just splurge, and you just want to get everything, and you want everything in excess, and then before you know it, you look at your bank account and there's no funds remaining. So there's
Right.
definitely there's like an onus on the person not to become their own enemy, and to become your own greatest asset.
Right. And you know, I think that a lot of the problem is we didn't have a good role model for that, you know, for the next level. We had role models for people that's sacrificing and trying to get the next person to the next level, but we didn't have role models of people that's already doing okay and helping the next person. Because, you know, we didn't see the big picture, that it's not really just about us, that it could have been to go to another level. Because actually, I wanted to go to another level, but he wasn't ready to go there. Because I wanted to become a midwife and have him become a PharmD, and that we would go back to Nigeria, and that I could help the women with the birthing process, and that he could be a dispenser in the village, you know, giving people medication according to their symptoms. But that part didn't happen. So, as they say, what happens to a dream deferred, you know? So maybe if we could have more role models, you know, to go to the next level, that see that it's not just about you, that it's about building a whole community. So that's why when I was at the BB Toomey workshop yesterday, and it was talking about the institute, I said that is a perfect model that somebody could see, okay, well, what really is the next level? That it's not really about ourselves. It's like building into the future for future generations. And then that way you wouldn't be lost into that just, you know, oneness sort of thing.
That is really, really good advice. And just to reference something I'd mentioned about people who have no purpose, you know, maybe some people, I feel like they don't realize that it doesn't always have to be about what they can't do. They can really do for other people and it can fulfill them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think because I'm not in a position to go to the continent just yet, like I'm planning to go for holiday purposes to Uganda.
Mm-hmm.
But I think whilst I'm still on the ground here, I'd like to connect with some people who don't see it for themselves, you know, and I really want to remind them that they have the utility to help themselves, but you need to find where that person is, you know. Sometimes there's so much stress and circumstance in the West, you know, that can really hide yourself under a blanket, and it's just a case of trying to find yourself, you know. It's still there, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it's not lost, but some people, they have the opportunity to find that person, you know.
Yeah. And all I can say is they can reach out and decide to help somebody else. They can be part of that concentric circle, that if you don't have the time, that you can at least donate some of your funds to help make it happen. You know, that's
Yeah.
why I like that concentric circle idea, you know, that when you actually can't have boots on the ground, that you can donate, whether you donate through Habasia or you go to a BB Toomey or the Happy Companion, anywhere where you feel like the money is being used for a good cause, that you can be part of it. You know, you just have to do your research and decide what's on your heart and do it. And then, because when I saw that a BB Toomey Institute yesterday, I was like, wow, the little money that I was donating every month since a year or so ago, I can see where it's located and how far they've come, you know? So I was like, so that's Habasia on steroids, you know, that you could physically see something that somebody was dreaming about, you know, that it can happen with cooperative economics.
So I guess my next question would be, how can we donate to this? Like, is there a link that we can follow?
Yes, it's a link right here. I have PayPal, I have Cash App.
Yeah, I got Cash App. I just got Cash
Okay.
App like a few weeks ago. I mean, just 2 weeks ago. So,
Okay. Well, there's Cash App.
no problem. I mean,
But I
you.
have Cash App, I have PayPal, and for the people that want to join me in Patreon, I'm in Patreon too.
No problem with the Cash App. I'll the Cash App, as it's something I'm able to do now, and I'm just reading it as it hovers across the screen. Yeah, I'll definitely get on that. You know.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're
Your
welcome.
With your stories, there's so much to dissect, you know, but I feel like, because it's already a big lesson in and of itself, when we even dissect into components of your story, we're able to get more fleshy lessons as well. So yeah, we have to do this again sometimes, for sure. We have to do it
Okay.
again. Yeah, for sure. I don't think I can stay too long now, because I do not had some tea and it's all gone cold, you know.
Okay.
But definitely, I'll definitely get on the Cash App, and definitely, what did you mention again? Concentric circle, because this is the first time I heard that term.
Well, I heard that on a bbtoomey.com yesterday, because I was watching the institute. They're building an institute, and the concentric circle whole philosophy is that as you get closer to the circle, that inner circle, time is money. So it's like talking about sweat equity. So even though somebody doesn't have the money, if they are donating, putting forth their time, that can be considered money when you're setting up a business, that you don't have to always see somebody as just an employee, that you're just giving them a job, even though the resources is coming from their country, that they're living in their own country and you met them there. And all you can say you've done is just employ them when they're doing all the work. The concentric circle says the person closest to the center of the circle, time equals money. And as you get farther away in that circle, that's when you start dealing with money, that person doesn't have the time to do it or does not want to do it, that they give their money to be an investor.
I feel like all you've dropped is some gems and some new terminology. So yeah, a real asset to the community. You definitely are.
See,
Oh
that's
yeah.
the concentric circle.
Do you know what happened? That whilst you were speaking about it, I searched it up on Google, and that same image showed up. I was like, I have to get this on the bookmark. So I just ran and I just searched it up really quickly.
Because when he talked about it yesterday, I'm like, wow. I say somebody is thinking like I'm thinking, but I never heard of the concentric circle. So I Googled it too yesterday. And that's how I found about it after his workshop. So I put his link in the information too. I'm like, wow, I didn't understand, and so this made it so clear for me that what I was talking about was having people as investors because they're putting in the majority of the work.
Yes. Oh, like honestly, you the term I just fell in love with it when you said it, and then when you repeated and you defined it, I was like, yeah, this is going in the bookmark straight away. So you were talking, I was typing. And
Okay, because he was saying that was their business model.
mm-hmm.
And that's the first time I had heard of anybody using that business model. Because I was always thinking inside of my head when I heard people say, we bringing jobs, we're bringing jobs. And I'm like, that doesn't sound too good. It's like, they've been having jobs for the longest. It's just that they paid them such low wages that they got used to it. And now all they happy if they just living from hand to mouth every day. So how are we any different than any other foreigner coming into the country if all we could say is that we gave somebody a job and not that they're our business partners? And when you're saying business partners, that you really mean business partners and not just your employees.
Yes. And something I would want to drop is, I mean, as it pertains to like stories and stuff, is that I worked at Amazon warehouse, some time ago. And do you know they have quite a large staff turnover because people are really disposable in that sort of industry. It's like you work, and if you don't fulfill like a target, that they just shoo you away, and it's the next person who's come to replace you. There's no incentive for them to learn your name because everyone wants a quick piece of money, and it's quite often that I'd look around and there's like 10 new staff and 10 missing. But one thing I can say is that when you're being belittled at the workplace, when you're being treated as if you're not a valuable person, it really takes a toll on your self-esteem. And it's not good emotional wise. So thank you for bringing up the business partner aspect, because when we go back to the continent and we want to build, like, we should really want to empower people, not try to replicate the same set of circumstances in the West, because the West doesn't have a good track record as it pertains to making people feel good in their line of work. Like, a lot of us have to be quiet because we don't want to talk about how we've been mistreated. But we don't want to mistreat people in the continent, and we also don't want to start off the journey by viewing them below us. It's all about starting well is truly an important thing. They say that first impressions are so important because you don't get another opportunity.
Right.
The same is true for starting off on the right foot. You don't get another opportunity to start on the right foot, truly. So if you can start off with at least seeing them as equals, you're doing something correct.
Correct. I agree.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump off right quick. But yeah, bless you, and also bless people in the chat. I know they're very intrigued, like, do you know, it's one of those things where I know that a live is good, where people just come in and they drop like really concise points because we're too busy listening. You know what I'm saying? I'm like that. So, like you got a few ears on your channel, and I can just tell that the people are like, yes. Sometimes I'm washing up the plates, and then you can say something. I'm like, yes, yes, yes. You know what I'm saying? So, great work. I'm gonna really quickly, and have a blessed day. And I'll
Yeah,
definitely
you
get on
too.
that Cash App right quick.
Okay. All
Maybe
right.
20 minutes tops, you'll see something. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
No
Thank you
problem.
for coming.
No problem.
Bye.
Bye.
Everybody was feeling Mr. Uganda. I'm excited he came on, y'all. And if anybody else wants to come on, guys, there's the link. Y'all are welcome to come on. And yeah, I was seeing y'all have somebody posted about the battered and abuse thing, but and about people calling folks witches and stuff like that. And that is an unfortunate thing. I think sometimes we get so much religiosity in us that we think that we can call anybody who's not like us a witch. And that needs to stop. Nobody is a witch. And I even get upset when I hear people who call themselves prophets calling folks witches and stuff. That's crap. It's total crap. Yeah, people just picking out a helpless person and doing scapegoating. So I'm not going to be part of any of scapegoating of anybody. It's no such thing as anybody witches. No more than they had the Salem witches in the United States. It's just some poor person who probably is a healer, who probably trying to be a healer. And even if you're trying to heal somebody, not everybody is going to survive. You just do your best when you're trying to heal people, even with herbs. Peace, love, Mr. Uganda. Yeah, it was beautiful. I agree, Andrea. And thank you for coming in, sis. Hey, P. Davis. He did an excellent job. I'm so happy. And I'm telling y'all, I appreciate everybody that's up here. Y'all are welcome to do Cash App or PayPal. And definitely, I'll be happy for y'all to be the Patreons too. I did see the stuff about giving people that, like I say, giving people that support system for being abused. Lots of times when people are in different communities, it's hard to even accept those resources, because even if those resources are there, when you need them long term, they're really not there. Because even in the United States, they may call themselves giving you a peace bond to keep that abusive person away from you. Lots of people break that peace bond, and that's when they hurt the person or do worse to the person. So that is a problem even in this country. So it's something that's complicated, that people actually have to start dealing with that abuser and try to get them to see that what they're doing is not right. Because in some places, that abuser is encouraged, that, oh, that's the right thing to do as a man or whatever, or even if that person is a female, same difference, that somebody out there is encouraging them to do something negative. So we need to stop encourage people in wrongdoing, encourage people in doing the right thing. That's what I say. Encourage people in doing the right thing. We did talk about the caste systems. We sure did. So you'll see that in the replay. Because we was talking about the caste system as also being a part of gender bias. And if you want to come on, here's that link. And, if you've done some research in the caste system in the motherland or even wherever you are in the diaspora, because that caste system is, to me, disguised as racism, sexism, because we have caste systems built in everywhere. A system where you're keeping somebody in their place, in their place. As you'll see, no matter where you go, whether you're in the United States or somewhere in the motherland, you have your elites and you have your poor people. In this country, we have the rich, the 1% and the 99%. It's just that the people that we call middle class are wage slaves or credit card slaves. But we can have the illusion that we have more because we have a good credit rating or whatever and can use those credit cards. So there's the link if you want to chime in. But yeah, we did talk about the caste system, but that's something that can be talked about even for longer periods because it is a multi-layered thing, the caste system. And the caste system goes across genders. As I've seen people treat people really awfully in the Gambia. When they were diasporans, they come across and talk to the people that was giving them service. They were deplorable. Oh, okay. I understand, Cece. Yeah, but anyway, it's like with that caste system, we do not want to recreate Liberia or Sierra Leone. We shouldn't have to feel like we're anybody's savior. I don't really see us having to be Santa Claus neither, packing up stuff to bring anywhere else, other than education, educational things. And even with educational things, you have to realize that in cultures and religions, some people can't even use pictures in them. So you have to first find out what someone needs with boots on the ground. And then if you want to help them to get that need met, you have to see how you can go about that with them. Because if you're doing something for somebody that they actually don't need, then it's not a help, because people have to think of what they can even do with stuff that people give them that they don't even have a need for. I put a link in the description for the generalized customs in the Gambia. I put a link to lots of things in the description, because as I was doing the research for the caste system and research for gender bias, I tried my best to share it in the information. And if you think that it's something else that I might could put in that information link, let me know. Because sometimes I think I put a link and maybe I didn't. So if it's something I talked about, you can just put it in the comments. And I do look at my comments later, and then I can still add the information. I can always add the link, because I can research it. If you didn't see it, I can actually bring it, because I did print up a whole stack of stuff, y'all. Because I tell you, even though I'm a storyteller, I try not to tell stories about stuff I don't know nothing about. So if it's something that I don't know about, I will research it. And even the stuff somebody was asking about getting paid with animals for the bride price in the Gambia. Well, on the community page, you'll see me wearing a blue and white fabric. And when I was at the batik factory in the Gambia, it was in the Serekunda market. It's like way in the back of the Serekunda market, the batik factory. They actually make the fabric there. And the guy that works there says that fabric is the fabric that a woman will wear when she's getting ready to go to her husband's house. He said that he would pay a cow for me. And I thought, oh, how nice. But I don't know. He could have just been joking, y'all, because it's 2021. And I don't know if they actually pay with livestock in the Gambia anymore. When I did the research into weddings in the Gambia, I didn't see anything about that. They said that the bride price is negotiable and that the father of the groom brings cola nut to the family of the bride house once the groom knows he wants to marry the young lady. And then they asked the young lady, the dad asked the young lady if she agrees to marry the man. And then if she agrees, then everybody gets part of the little cola nut. And they agree how much a bride price. And so to me, it seems like money exchanged instead of animals. And then for the bride family side, they give a token dowry, just a dinnerware for the house, maybe the bed for the house, but it's something that the woman owns that she brings to the marriage and to her husband's house. And then they have a party, and that's where the animals come in, because they'll slaughter a goat, they'll slaughter a cow, and they'll use that to have the feast. So that's what I've read. I gave links to that too. And I also put links from someone else when they was talking about marriages in the Gambia. Not everything that I posted is stuff that I agree with, but it was just so you would have a well-rounded information when you're doing some research, because what I give you hopefully is only a beginning to what you know, that you would take some time, put some effort yourself in researching that subject that you have an interest in, you know, because I don't want you to think that I think that it's just my way or no way, because I only know just certain things about the Gambia. I only know certain things about Nigeria. I know certain things about Cameroon. Wherever I've been in the diaspora is what I know. My friends that's from the motherland, I have lots of them in the United States, and I only know what they tell me. Whether it's true or not true, it's their truth. So I have to take it with a grain of salt. So I do not want to misinform anybody. So I gave y'all the links as just a beginning to that subject matter. So is there any questions any of y'all have out there that y'all think that I could address? Because I would like to know, and I will go that way, because I don't want to bore you guys saying it's something that y'all might have already heard already. I know I can give y'all an update on that fish meal. On the fish meal, I heard per video, that's the last video I could find, was that the youth dug up the pipes from that burnt down Chinese fish meal market. And so they created a lot of damage, you know. And I'm not one of those that urge somebody to do violent stuff, because to me, you get people used to doing violent stuff, then maybe the next time they'll think that something I did or somebody else did wasn't cool, and they would destroy that too. you know. So sometimes things can be dealt with on another level, and you have to figure out that things take time to change, and you have to let people know how you feel, and definitely not cooperate with somebody messing over you, you know, like not accepting the low wages that somebody is paying you to destroy your coastline of your country. You're welcome, Tanya. And I did talk to some of my friends in the Gambia, and whenever you're talking about anything, it's always from that person's point of view. And so the person that I was talking to is somebody that actually listens to me, and he believes in the equality of women. And he says that most of his friends are monogamous. Because you know, with polygamy, a lots of that has to do with having money to be able to finance another family. So maybe it's also a caste system that the more money you have, you're more inclined to have another family with polygamy. And that gives another layer to the gender bias, because I also was told that if your husband has money, that he's subject to allow you to have a business, that he'll set up the business, and that you will have a housekeeper to clean the house and a nanny to take care of your baby. But that's if your husband has money and sets you up in a business. I do know that the Gambian government did set up some new rules where women will be able to own their own property, but I don't know how that's going. I did interact with business women that were shop owners and everything, but I did not get to ask them, you know, how their husbands felt, or if they were married. Maybe they were widows. I don't know. I'll find out when I get there. Welcome, CC. Is it any more questions you guys have out there? Because I'm here. Because I know I covered some on gender bias. I covered some on caste systems. There was an update to the fish meal market. Is there more things you want to ask me about Gambia? I know at the beginning I was letting y'all know that I have a wedding to go to in the United States. My cousin's daughter is getting married. And they wanted to know, was I already in Africa? And I told them no. I got my car title. So it's a matter of me going to a wedding, a family wedding, and then go on to the Gambia. And you know, Cece, I am not going to say the date. Oh, it's just not safe for me as a single traveler. But I will be giving y'all little hints and our Patreon background stuff. So you're one of my patrons. You will be one of the first ones to know. And I will be giving y'all little behind the scenes things when I'm going back, actually. Because pretty much when I'll be posting things, it'll be posting things of where I've been and not where I'm going. You know, so just imagine I can record a video at an airport, upload it to the cloud if I can as an unlisted link. And then when I get in the next place that has internet, I can turn around and share that link to the Patreon channel. And then once I get to the Gambia, then I can do a special video that can be shared to YouTube. We're good. Texas is a good place. Hey, let me know. I know I'll be in Dallas. My cousin is getting married in Dallas. So I get to use one of my free hotel nights at the Hilton or Marriott, whichever one it is. I know I get to use free hotel nights that they say you have to use it or lose it. So I was so happy when I found out I was going to be going to a wedding. I'm like, yes, I get to use my free hotel stay before it expires. Because I was really wondering about that. I'm like, I couldn't find one place in the motherland where I could use one of those coupons for the companies that I have these credit cards with, you know? So I don't know, y'all. Is anybody new out there? Let me know where y'all watching me from. And let me know if it's any new questions that I can help y'all with pertaining to Gambia or just the motherland in general. Because I, in general, know lots about lots of things, just not specifically about everything, you know. Because I've been going to the motherland since 1980. So since 1980, I've been going, starting in Nigeria. So if it's somebody new out there, let me know where y'all watching me from and just say, hey, let me know if it's any questions y'all need me to answer. I'm just happy to be here and I'm excited. Okay, here we go. Muriel Daglish, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Muriel. Thank you for stopping by. I'm happy to see all of you guys. Thank you so much. Oh, wow. You from Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Yay, yay. I think this is the first time somebody said that they're from the Netherlands. Thank you so much for checking me out. I'm happy to have you here with all of us. I hope I'll get to see you in the Gambia. Yeah, hopefully so. I'm glad to have you here with us. I hope all of y'all there subscribe, like, share. Yeah, I hope so. I hope you subscribe too, Muriel. But I love all of y'all being here. I do. Y'all have made my day. Y'all just don't know how much y'all have made my day, coming by and saying hello to me. Oh, good. I'm excited. Because, you know, when I'm in the Gambia and people walk up to me and say, oh, I know you, you're Habesha. And I found out that they've been my subscriber and watching me since I was in my garden in America. And it's like, when I make these videos, y'all, sometimes I think nobody's watching, you know? And so I feel so good when y'all come out and y'all let me know where y'all from and that y'all watching me and that y'all subscribers, because y'all put a face to the numbers. I'm just so blessed to have all of y'all here. And I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I really do. And when I get back to the Gambia, I will do a special dance for y'all that will not have a copyright infringement, because I'm going to have my friends play the kora and play the djembe drums. Yeah, and none of that has any old copyright on it. So that'll be, you know, something that I want to do for y'all. So I hope all of y'all become Patreons so we can do our little party thing together. But I'm so happy for all of y'all, the subscribers included. Yes, I have to have a special thing at Motu or something for all of my subscribers too. We got to have some fun over there, y'all, because life is so short. I like to see all of you. And I promise y'all, I am working on getting out of here soon. Like I said, if it wasn't for my cousin last night asking me about that wedding and saying, "Are you in Africa?" I might have been for real. But good, she caught me just in time. Just in time. And you know that, Cora, it's only because I was researching my grandmother's name, and her name, Cora Sam. She helped raise me, and she did not know she was an African. She thought she was an Indian. Us African Americans have been so brainwashed that we're Indians, not Africans. And I asked her, I said, "Mother, what kind of Indian?" And she said, "I don't know." Just Indian, because we had no retentions for any indigenous people in America, but we had plenty retentions for Africa, including the name Cora. That is a surname in the Gambia and anywhere else the Cora is played, because a lot of the people that play the Cora, they're named Cora. So yeah, the Cora is just so beautiful. Oh, thank you, Tanya. Well, I'm enjoying y'all too. Let's see. Oh yeah, SNwadiei. I am going to visit her school the next time I'm there, because when I was at Dabo House, which is where my friend Salif is the manager. He's a chef there and a manager. And one of his friends that was there actually works at that school. But last time I was there, I was trying to get my paperwork straightened for my land. And so I really didn't have time to go to that school. But I did tell the lady that I wanted to go to that school, the school that SNwadiei is sponsoring. And I did donate to that school too. So I would love to go and see those kids, and see, because it's like they're learning all of these African instruments, and they're learning a school system that's African centered, because she thinks on another level. I saw her on a Zoom workshop, because first she had the documentary and then she was speaking afterward. And I'm telling you, it was just so interesting watching everything. And I like her son too. He's really learning how to play lots of instruments just like his mom, all the way from the I can't think. I'm getting a mental block for the instrument that he plays, because it's not a xylophone. It's the Mother Africa pre-xylophone. It's the balafon. I think it's the balafon. But he plays that, and hopefully he'll be playing the kora soon too. We'll see, because you know how sometimes the artists play those instruments, but they're just not ready to let you see them yet because their parent is so good at it already. But yeah, I do like seeing her and her son too. Is there anybody new out there that needs to say hello? Because I'm trying to get everybody in here. And hopefully I didn't miss anybody on here. Okay, here. Because it's just that I don't have a moderator and all of that yet, y'all. And so with these old eyes, I'm trying to read the comments and stuff. Okay. My ancestor says I'm in the Netherlands. Okay. That's good. Because our people have gone all over the place. And when I saw some of the YouTubers talk about the Netherlands and about the slave trade in the Netherlands, I didn't know that our people even went to the Netherlands. It was just so strange. Just because I knew about the Ma'afa in the United States, the Caribbean, the South America, the Caribbeans, and the United States. I just knew about that. I was not aware of all those sugarcane plantations in the Netherlands. And it was like, wow, how people control the story where you don't even know what happened to our people all over the place. And that to know that 1/2 of the population of the motherland was taken away and enslaved. That was something I didn't even know until last year. I knew it was bad, but I didn't know it was 50%. And I could see how, with them being so weakened, that when they came back through with colonization, that it was just an easy thing for them to do. So we have been all over the place, y'all, wherever we could be taken advantage of. And all I can say is that now that we're getting our natural minds back by learning about the history of our people being spread out into the diaspora, that as we learn about ourselves, that we start controlling the scenario, that when we go back, that we will not be the new colonizers, that we will not be the new gentrifiers, that we will work in a concentric circle and actually try to set up businesses with our brothers and sisters. Not saying all of them, but at least maybe try one, you know. Okay, I hear you. In south of Brazil and Suriname. Okay. I know my DNA is everywhere too, y'all. I'm telling y'all, my ancestors have been taken everywhere. So they've had a hard life. We've all had a hard life. And I'm telling you, they just want to go back home, y'all. So whenever y'all see me back home being happy, it's because something inside of me is saying, we made it. We back home. The Dutch were the colonizers. Yeah, I know that one. I did see the movie last year, the documentary. I was like, oh, wow. I didn't know. I didn't know. Yeah. I didn't know until last year. I had no idea. So, but as we go back, y'all, if we can do a paradigm shift and not think that, oh, all we are creating on a continent is jobs, instead of creating opportunities that we all can be a part of, that we all can share in, that model can change. Like I said, I shared a link to that Abibi Toomey Institute, and y'all are free. Go and look at that link. If you join abibitoomey.com, just to join anyway is free. But then y'all can just access the information, and if that's something you're interested in, or just for the idea of just the role model of what he was talking about. Because I saw him, Professor Gambon, talk about it yesterday. And that concentric circle model is something that I actually was talking about, that concept all along, but I didn't know that it's called concentric circle, because I'm all about empowering families to self-sufficiency, not about charity. Yes, I agree. They took us all over the world. And now I'm ready to just go back home. Every time I go back, I feel so good, y'all. Like I said, it's not that I feel like I'm being taken advantage of every second here, but I just feel like I'm part of a minority. And I'm told that over and over again, that I'm part of a minority, that I'm about 14% of the population being generous, and knowing that that 14% is because on purpose our people was genocided after the enslavement was supposedly over. They packed up some of them and sent them to Liberia and Sierra Leone because they didn't know what to do with them, didn't want them causing trouble with the slaves that was working for free, still enslaved. And then after slavery, if you just felt like you was a human being and wanted to make your own money, like Black Wall Street or whatever, Rosewood, whatever, they destroyed it. Even found out Opelousas, Louisiana, was one of the places that end up where they end up massacring people for revolting and stuff. So it's time to go home, y'all, at least to visit first and see if you can become part of that concentric circle, that you could help somebody get to another level, even if you can't be boots on the ground every day over there. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad. Let's see. What else is somebody saying? I have no idea who is James Island in the Gambia. Because you got to realize these YouTubers, it's a lot of YouTubers out there. And I don't know every YouTuber in the Gambia. I don't know I don't even know who they are, guys. And produce YouTube videos for you guys. I'm pretty focused on that. I don't have anybody holding my camera, nobody editing my videos, nothing like that. I get zero from YouTube. It's like going in a circle with those people. You got an AdSense account, but you're not really affiliated with their partnership program and stuff like that. You try to affiliate it with the partner program, you get just kicked back. So it's like, I'm just doing this because I love y'all. But I don't see everybody's videos. And no, I did not see him when I was in the, I don't know that person. I have friends and family in the Gambia that I interact with a lot. And most of the diaspora, I see them at Motu. I have a friend that's a diaspora and I talk to her on the phone every day. She even called just before this live because your friends do not watch your lives. So they're not supportive in your lives. I don't understand that. They'll talk to you every day, but they're not even aware. They're not even aware that you're doing YouTube, even though you say you are and you share your videos with them. They probably don't even watch them. So yeah, I have somebody that I talk to there. Is the place where they shipped enslaved people in America. So there are a lot of places in here. They have lots of places that they shipped enslaved people in the Americas. They have Virginia, where some of my relatives were shipped. I can't, Louisa, Virginia is where relatives were. I believe that's where they taught them to be slaves. It was like slave factory or something. And some of them, and then when the Haiti Revolution was starting, some of the slavers, their slaves up and took them to Louisiana because it was French, with the Louisiana Purchase. And some of them end up in Louisiana that way. I have Creole relatives that's in Louisiana. And I found out that Galveston was a port city and that they also had Africans that after slavery time was kidnapped from ships that illegally had Africans on them to sell them on the black market. And Jean Lafitte, who was a pirate in Galveston, took over those slave ships, took the bounty for returning the slaves to I don't know what, and they actually were still enslaved again someplace else. So no hero to anybody. But yes, Galveston was a slave port, and some Africans ended up here even after the official end of slavery. Island is a Dutch word. Sorry. Oh, okay. So James Island. So I guess that's like Kunta Kinte Island, maybe. Maybe Kunta Kinte Island now. The James Island. I haven't gone to Kunta Kinte Island, but it's in the works that I will go there and do a recording there with somebody. So we'll see. It's all a future plan. No problem. No problem. I thought it was a person. Country, y'all, I'm country. But anyway, I have never gone to Kunta Kinte Island yet, but it is planned in the future. Really wasn't motivated at the other times I was there because I was trying to work on getting my land papers situated. And I really did not want to go to Kunta Kinte Island at the time. I think I needed more energy because I had already gone to the so-called slave dungeons in Ghana. And it was like, I just can't go to another slave dungeon, slave castle, enslavement island. I just couldn't do it anymore. So I'm building up my courage so I can go when I go back and do a recording there. Yeah, but hopefully I answered that I didn't go to James Island or Kunta Kinte Island because I was trying to get my paperwork done and I just really wasn't motivated to go there. I didn't have the energy or the motivation to go there. But I'm building it up so I can go. Y'all see, if y'all was here earlier, that y'all saw Alex Haley's cousin. She is a direct descendant of Kunta Kinte, and she is doing a project on that Kinte Island, trying to renew it to a historical level, like from when Kunta Kinte was taken away. So that'll be really interesting. Yeah. See, I had to go to Ghana with one of my cousins, and she had never gone to, quote, Africa before. So I didn't want her to go into the slave dungeons by herself. So that's how come I end up going one time extra too many. So that's why I was like, I don't want to see no more. It's like before we were enslaved, we were something else. And after we weren't enslaved, we are something else. And I'm trying to learn about that something else. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. So I'm working on going back soon. I'll be able to stay. The more patrons I have, because that'll help me with my good works. As y'all know, I'm about empowering people to self-sufficiency, but I've played the lottery and I have not won yet. Because if I'd done that, I'd be able to just set it up as a trust and it would be all good. I'd be all good. But since I didn't win the lottery to set it up as a trust, I have to depend on my own funds and the donations from you guys. And I imagine, because I know that as my patrons come in, they become Habasia, helping your brothers and sisters in Africa. And when we're in the motherland, we'll be able to do all sorts of good things together, that we could just sit down and plan, have planning committees with our brothers and sisters there, and that they can be boots on the ground and do some things with their own hands while they're there. Like part of that concentric circle. It's like when you're in the motherland, that you can donate your time on a project and say, wow, I was part of that. And you could have the video to prove it, that you helped plant a tree, or you planted some vegetables, or whatever you did, that you made a mud brick, whatever, that it was something that you did while you was there. That's what you can say when you're part of that concentric circle. And then when you're not there, you can say, okay, well, I donated. And because I donated, they was able to do these things. Because one person is not an island. One person can't continue to do everything because they only have a limited time on earth. All right, Andrew, what you want to say? What you want to say? Let me give you this link. I'm telling y'all are all welcome to chime in and come in and say something. I'll be trying to figure out this link stuff, because after a while, it seems like the link doesn't show up again. You have to keep going back in and doing it again. So there's the link if anybody wants to come in and say something. Anybody want to ask another question while I'm still here? It's like I said, I really have fallen in love with that concentric circle. So you never have to wonder what it is that you can do. Because if you're farther away from the center, meaning you're in the diaspora and you don't have the time to come, you don't have the inclination to come, you're not in any physical shape to do the work, that you can just donate whatever amount. And you know that that's helping the work to get done. Because it's all about empowering our brothers and sisters to self-sufficiency there. And even cooperative economics. It's like, if you get something from somebody that's over there, they can take their money and pay their own rent when they making profit from their business. They have to pay for their business overhead. They have to pay their own employees. They can send their own kids to school. All those things that some, quote, charities seem to want to do with a Band-Aid, they can do it themselves if they get the support of the people that's coming over there that actually has disposable income. Because sometimes it's not about Gambians supporting other Gambians. It's like they don't have that disposable income to get stuff at some of those businesses that we as the diasporans can do, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a jeweler, whether even a dressmaker or a designer, somebody who's creating a local fabrics that you buy it from them. Because when you take garments from here and you ship them to the motherland, that messes up the whole ecosystem for the local fabric makers. It likes put a lot of them out of business